On everybody, we are live. What's going on? You are now listening to Harrison Family Values. I'm Dre, the host of this podcast. I guess that's what it's become. Yeah.
Danger.
Right off the bat, because this has been a triggering topic in the YouTube manosphere, red pill, black manosphere space. Now, I know how mean some of you guys are. All right. Let me let you guys take a real close look. See if I can get, yeah, my hair's curly. I haven't had a haircut yet. I promise you, I'll be getting a haircut soon. So if you guys want to roast me in the comments and the chats now about my hairline looking like, by all means, go ahead and do it. I don't mind. But I promise you, I will pin the most creative insult to my hairline. I will pin it. Okay. If it's funny and creative, I will pin it to the comment section and to the chat. I promise you I'll pin it, but it's got to be worth my while. Do not come in here with some childish, non-creative insults. If you're going to insult me because of my opinion and you don't like what I have to say and you want to attack not my talking points, but me, and you want to go for after my hairline, by all means. It looks really bad though, yo. Like this looks horrible. By all means, have at it. But make sure that is creative. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat so far. If you are watching, please smash that like button. We got Jermaine from That Christian Fam channel in the building. What's going on? So we're going to be talking about a couple of things. What's going what's going on? CP the artist is about to go and roast a brother. watch. Okay, he can do that because he got the nice, clear, clean, no hair on his head. But he's about to roast me. I know he's about to go in. The most let me cook in the most creative. All right, I want to hear it. But listen, real talk though. Real talk. YouTube in the past 10 days has been on fire. She literally, just Pearly Things, threw a bomb, right? Without meaning to throw a bomb and let it explode. And it looks like the black manosphere is imploding within itself, which is why I'm promoting Manosphere 4.0, the era of self-accountability. Listen, this is going to be one of those triggering conversations. If you're watching the live stream, you look at the pinned comment above. Yeah, you see the pinned comment above. If you're going to join the conversation, share your opinion, but by all means, I will be more than happy to hear your point of view on this. Let me start by saying this. I fully understand why men need a space in social media, in media in itself. It's not in mainstream media, because the one male show that they attempted to have with homeboy from Saved by the Bell and that child actor from like the 60s and 70s, and they had a male show that was equivalent to like The View or The Real, but it just didn't pop off anywhere. Mario Lopez and a couple others, but it's not a mainstream thing, right? Men aren't tuning in to shows, watching shows like that, and that's all good. It's fine. But social media, YouTube, men tend to watch content and even will give super chats. So if you guys want to, leave a super chat, not that I'm begging for a super chat, but it'll be helpful. By all means, go. Or super thanks. But we don't really have spaces like that. So when YouTube comes out, and a couple of years after the birth of YouTube, and now men and women are able to go on YouTube and share their point of view, their opinions, what so have you. Out of that comes the manosphere, red pill, all the subsectors of all those things, which I think at its core, if it's done right, could be a good thing. But it seems like it's been an overcorrection of an overcorrection, right? The modern feminist movement has been an overcorrection of women wanting equal rights for the same jobs that they were doing in the workplace. To women are now better than men, and men are obsolete and expendable in society. And then we have the Manosphere that come out, and in its conception, it was about male improvement and things like that. But then there was a market where they realized if we could just go at feminists as hard as they go at us, there is a market there. We can capitalize off this. And therefore, we have what we know as the modern manosphere, red pill, all that stuff, which doesn't really add a changing value in society, doesn't really offer tangible solutions that would repair relationships between men and women, which is why I'm promoting, as I said before, Manosphere 4.0, the era of self-accountability. All right. So, and Just Pearly Things really did reveal the hypocrisy that exists within at least the Black Manosphere. Shout out to Courtney Michelle, who did a live stream. I think Courtney Michelle's take on it was strong. I think her take on it had a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Her experiences really tailored her point of view in this situation with Just Pearly Things. Like many of us out there, many of us have gone through really mess up situations and experiences in regards to our race. So I get it. I understand it. But she came off very strong, and I respect her point of view about it, because essentially she brought up some good points, but she was just really strong about it. But she exposed a man who was, as O'Shea Duke Jackson would put it, as one of the founding members of the Black Manosphere. Because here's what happened. Yeah, the Manosphere, the overall Manosphere, right? That had like, some subsectors within it. But even before that, the subsector started to happen because there were some schisms within it and disagreements within it. So you had an umbrella of Manosphere, and then from that trickled different ideologies within the Manosphere space, which is where you get the red pill and all that stuff, and then the Black Manosphere. And Obsidian, who has been vocal about his support of Just Pearly Things. And if you don't know who Just Pearly Things is, you can watch one of my other videos, my last live stream. You'll get more context. I don't want to go too deep into it because I already did. But Just Pearly Things, he in support, not really like he did. I think he did a pretty decent job, like trying to play defense, but he's in support of her, right? But a lot of the Manosphere community was in support of Just Pearly Things, right? I made my point with the Christian twist. That's right. And if you haven't seen brother Jermaine from That Christian Fam channel take on this, please, by all means, do so. Do me a favor, bro. Leave can you just put that link to your video in the chat? Greatly appreciate it. This chat is going to replay, so people who are rewatching it will be able to see it. And yeah, I see, and I can see why you can't stand Obsidian. I'm at the end of this, I'm probably going to tag him in this, but I didn't know how to title it. But Courtney Michelle shared how some people within the Black Manosphere exposed the hypocrisy, and she pointed out, and this is something that he has to like really, if he claims to be as logical as he is, which I believe he is, he has to really say, yo, I messed up here and I was really inconsistent in this area. So the Black Manosphere sort of started because they entered the Manosphere space and they felt like their needs weren't really being addressed in the overall Manosphere space, and they weren't really respected in that space. It was predominantly ran and operated and moved by white men. And they felt like, wow, even in this space, we're experiencing we're not as good as you guys, right? And what's going on, Just Andrea? Thank you so much for being here. And I can't say 90% of them, me neither, right? Which is why we got to start up the Manosphere 4.0, the era of self-accountability.
Danger.
Wrong one. All right. So here we go with the Black Manosphere started because Black men needed an area where we can self-improve and not feel like we're being belittled by the overall Manosphere that was pretty much ran by white men. And a little while ago, a couple of years ago, Obsidian went on his show and he was talking about a white man in a manosphere who was talking about black issues. And he said he respected him. However, he, the white man, should not be talking about black issues. He said, you leave our issues to our own community. You handle yours. He even used something like derogatory name. Like, we don't deal with your women. All right. So don't talk about ours. So, and he was adamant about that, right? Adamant about that. This is a black manosphere. Okay. And so don't go on bashing our women, which I respect. But then they let just pearly things in. They let her in, and she took over the space. And on occasion, she would talk about issues pertaining to black women. And Courtney Michelle exposed that. Actually, Obsidian's not the only one. Now, O'Shea Duke Jackson, shout out to him, has been consistent. All right. He does not want people from the outside bashing his people, right? And I get it, because just like any other race, any other gender, any other culture would not appreciate somebody else on the outside speaking negatively about their culture or the people within, which is fine and natural. Nobody should be talking about anybody else's culture, even if it's a joke, which is why I don't listen to jokes by even my own people when they talk about white people. I just don't think jokes about white people should be funny. And I'm not going to lie and say that some of it's not. I'm at the point where I would not appreciate them making jokes about me and my people. I don't think it's right that I'm laughing at jokes about them and theirs. That's how I see it. But O'Shea Duke Jackson's been pretty consistent. He has not been in support of Just Pearly Things because he felt like giving somebody of the opposite gender and the opposite race, another race, a platform to talk negatively about the women in his race is not productive to the cause. Obsidian had that same sentiment when it came to white men, but not really white women. So he exposed that. And not only that, there are many men who love the fact that people on the outside, well, specifically Just Pearly Things, says the things she says about black women specifically. And that's the hypocrisy that exists within the space. That's the hypocrisy. Brother just put the link to his video. Please go over there and check it out. You know, brother, it's extremely convenient. And then Obsidian said that he feels like she's good for the space. But then why couldn't white men say what they were saying back when you rebuked them for it? And I'm talking to like Obsidian's going to watch this. He's probably not going to watch this. But it still shows that the hypocrisy that exists within the space. It's all about convenience. The Manosphere space really doesn't have a core set of principles that would allow men to elevate. It's all about convenience. It's all about what I feel at the specific moment. There's no organizational structure to this thing. Anybody and everybody can get into the space. And if you say something that somebody like that meets the same gender as you, or that is the opposite gender, they just feel coddled and pandered to, they're going to support you. You know how we know that? Derek Jackson. Derek Jackson built a career pandering and lying about who he was to his audience. Made millions. Books, games, all that stuff, right? If we can say what people want to hear, we can capitalize off of it. We don't really have to have a core set of principles that we live by. We just got to say the right things at the right moments to the right people. whether we believe it or not, and boom, we're going to explode on YouTube. Which is why some channels like mine, like that Christian Fam channel, like CP the Artist, like who's I think she's gonna explode. Chelsea, who just got monetized. Shout out to Chelsea for the monetization. But it's difficult for our channels to get traction, to gain traction, because we're not out there spitting negativity or pandering to any one gender. I'm not pandering to my brothers out there, nor will I ever pander to the women. Truth is truth. Fact is fact. Variables exist within both. And both have issues that they really need to deal with. But if somebody like myself was to do a couple of things to make myself gimmicked, if I was to make sure that my hair was always cut right every week, and my beard was nicely shaped, right? And I wore designer clothes, and I got my body right, and I'm wearing like maybe some muscle, you know, showing off the pecs when I get it. And I start talking about how amazing women are and how men are always the problem, I will explode. There's a dude on YouTube now. What's his name? And I've been wanting to respond to some of his videos, right? But he's been in the space for years. Forgot his name. Man, what's his name? But he does it. He does that now. All his Instagram shorts and all about how men are the issue, men are the problem, and like, just like a man can come on, and this man could be rugged, you know, the man's man, the most masculine man on YouTube, and he's going to say things to pander to men and tell men that women are the problem, women are no good. All right. Even maybe write books saying women deserve less. No. Not that I'm like pointing anybody out. I'm just saying. But come on this YouTube space, right? Speak positivity. Say things that both people don't like because it's the truth, because rarely do people really want to be confronted with the truth, because the truth hurts. And you'll get people on both sides that really dislike your content. On this channel specifically, women hate my content and men hate my content. The men think I'm pandering to women. The women think I'm pandering to men. That's where I want to be. That means I'm doing what I'm called to do here on this YouTube space. But I'm not perfect. Some inconsistencies in my ideologies could be exploited and exposed. All right. But I do live by a core group of principles that I try to share and preach and teach. But with the manosphere, the overall manosphere, what really are those principles? And are they solid? Are they concrete? Or are they interchangeable? Based on, as my brother CP the Artist said in the chat, based on convenience. That's the problem with the current state of the manosphere, the red pill community. Because men can talk about how worthless women are while they're colored up with their wives at home and telling other men to stay single. You want to know why? It's the same reason why you have people like Cynthia G, who will spew hate out there for men and keep women perpetually single because there's money involved. You get men that's broken and tell these broken men who don't want to level up that women are the problem, and you say an example that resonates with them, you know what they're going to do? Open up their bank accounts and start sending all that cash. Just like they do with the women who want to spew hate for men. This is all money. It's all a money game. It's all a money game. Shout out to Black Light Revelations in the house. What's going on? It's all about money. Just Pearly Things exposed how men will switch up and how all of this is about money. All of it. Just Pearly Things has an amazing work ethic. She put money in and invested a lot of money to learn from the people in the space, then use their talking points, invest it in the studio, use those same talking points that made Kevin Samuels millions, that's making the young men in Miami millions, that made RT maybe hundreds of thousands. I'm not sure what his bank account, or all these other people money, right? Andrew Tate money. The same talking points she used, and you know what it's doing for her? Making her money. Does she really believe all these things? I don't know. What we do know is that she's completely capitalizing off of it. Off of talking points. Now, mind you, let's be fair. Let's be objective. She doesn't only talk about issues pertaining to Black men and Black women. All right. So I think that there's been a narrative out there where people are saying she's only talks about Black issues. She doesn't. She talks about a lot of other things also. But she does talk about Black issues. And she has people on staff who are Black who talk about Black issues as well as she moderates. And I mentioned before that moderating issues pertaining to Black men and women is really more like, modern day cockfighting. So I don't really appreciate that. But she talks about other things. Just Pearly Things has been brilliant in that, where she understands that the purpose of YouTube is to entertain, and she's going to capitalize off of it. And what's entertaining the people is the ills and the plights between Black men and Black women. Not offering solutions, actionable solutions that would help. That's not entertaining. That's therapeutic. That's meant to help. People don't want help when they're being entertained. They want to hear what you have to say about the people that they don't like. It's all about the money. At the end of the day, how much super chats I can get, how many, brand deals is pretty much out of the question when you do things like that, unless it's like, Manscaped or stuff like that. But you're not getting any like brand deals from companies. But there's super chats like this, the live stream space, and in that arena, the super chats, crazy. All I have now, I don't mean this.
Danger.
Okay, I don't mean this. I don't. But, and guys, don't clip this out and be like, Andre said this, or Dre said this, because if you do, that's really whack of you. Okay, I don't believe what I'm about to say. Okay, but if I wanted to be successful in YouTube, I could say things like this: all women are 304s. They don't deserve no respect. All right, you need to treat them the way they deserve to be treated, like nothing. All right, you're the man. You need to be the leader and put the woman in her place. If I said those things continually on my channel would grow leaps and bounds by two groups of people: people that love what I got to say and hate what I have to say. And the people that love what I have to say are usually those broke men in their mama's basements. Let me be nice. Men that's been broken and hurt by women. And because I'm pandering to them, they're going to be sending me super chats. So now I realize that there's money to be made in the hurt and the trauma of men when it comes to relationships with women. I can make money off of it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Gracious greatness from above over the pond. Thank you so much. Doesn't it feel good to be on the right side of these issues, bro? We have been ahead of the curve. Listen, bro, if you're not telling the truth, listen. Apparently, the young lady's dad was apparently well off. Yes, he was. And that's where her initial capital came from. Yes. Yes. But she admitted coming from a place of privilege as well. So she, she did that. But now I'm concerned about if it's pseudo self accountability. Like if she's saying those things because she wants to be successful in the space. Because one thing men love, one thing men will eat up and adore is a self-aware woman. Like they love that. Love that. So yeah. Yeah. And on another note, I was listening to Assist on YouTube, of a platform called Standard of Truth Podcast. I'm familiar with the sister. The sister on there was spitting facts, although I think some of her perspectives are also valid. Yeah, I'm familiar with her channel. Yeah, man. Let's give love to each other in the chat. All right. This is all a money game, baby. All a money game. I could be huge. All of us could be huge in this space. All of us. If we have debates with women and cut them off, and then when they cut us off, say, look at you, being masculine, living in a masculine energy. We all can do it. All of us can do it. All of us. But if you are somebody of the opposite gender and somebody who may be of a different race, and you have those same talking points, you're going to explode. You will. You will. Just Pearly Things was one of probably the first person of that demographic to realize I can really dominate in this space. But when you have actionable steps, when you have things like, listen, we could really elevate Black communities and Black families in a real way, and have channels like that, they generally don't go anywhere. They grow very slow. For crying out loud, she grew hundreds of thousands of subscribers just because Hafiz was flustered in a debate. Like that debate catapulted her to where she is today. Huge. Huge. And I like Hafiz. I think Hafiz is a net positive for this space. I do. I think he's so young. But Hafiz, in my opinion, and some people may not agree, but I think if Hafiz would stay the course in 15 years, right, and his marriage awaited the test of time, and it lasted, and they grew together, he would be a prominent voice in male-female dynamics, in relationship dynamics. He would be. He would be. Whether you may not agree, just that when you look at the trajectory of people's lives and what they value at a young age and what they invest into, Hafiz is actually on the right course. He is. Just that he really fumbled that debate. And it wasn't even a debate. He made it a debate. Let's call it what it is. And it made her look, it made people watching have compassion on her, especially men that look like us. And they poured into her, poured subscribers, money, all that. So all that. I just don't like the money grab by Pearly, and then she plays dumb as if she doesn't know that that's what she's doing with her employees is modern day colonialism. Sheesh. Yeah. And Sarah Garvey went on the record stating that a contract that was offered to him was hardly fair. A 70-30 split with her receiving 70% of the revenue and him 30. Now, again, there's a business portion behind that. If she owns everything, that's an issue. But if she's providing a lot of the the internet, the staff, all that, the editing, all that stuff costs. So, but again, I the variables that would exist within that contract really needs to be dissected. Yeah. I wonder though, is Tony Gaskins a Pandora? Now, I wasn't talking about him. It's somebody else. It's another dude. All right, but Tony Gaskins, one of those light-skinned Southern dudes, right, who has that endearing accent, who women swoon over. You know, they swoon over homeboy. Light eyes and a Pandora are here for men's improvement because sometimes he seems to be a solid dude, but his message seems painful. Yeah, sometimes he's solid, sometimes he's not. Like sometimes he's just so, yeah. But I gotta be honest, I don't have much of an issue with Tony Gaskins. I forgot this brother's name. Guys in the chat, if you know these names, not Derek Jackson, not Tony Gaskins, not Stefan Lavoisier. So that another dude, he has like low cut hair. He's always talking like this. He's like, whenever he's talking, what's his name, man? I forgot his name. I forgot his name. A ton of channels reacted to that clip. Yeah, a lot. Her collabs too. She out collaborated. Yeah, and paying them. Like, so she knew exactly who to buy or who to pay to get on her channel to have. Yeah, she did amazing. One thing that we cannot take from her is how she played this game, because she played it well, and she used her resources to do it. I don't got the money to be paying people to go on a podcast with me. She did it well. Oh, black demographic can be some of the most gullible people on the atlas. Agreed. Not only does it cost, it frees up time for her to be able to do more content during the time it would take a normal to mid-sized YouTuber to do the editing. Agreed. Yeah. Not alpha male strategies. Oh man. What's his name? Man, I forgot his name, and I really want to. I think I blocked him on Instagram too, so I won't be able to find him. But what's his name? Excuse me. Hey, bro, Jermaine, that Christian fam channel. I dislike the contracts thing as well. Exploitation is not something that I'm a fond of. Agreed. Is this stuff is cold? I don't think his stuff is cold. I'm gonna Google this real quick. Relationship coaches on YouTube. Let me see. Not Tony Gaskins. What's this dude's name? Black male. Be more specific. On YouTube, like a search engine, you gotta be more specific. What's his name? On Instagram. Let me see. Try Instagram. They're gonna make me look for this dude. No. See, now I'm stuck. Now I'm going to be trying to find this dude. But even him, like he pandering doesn't really give any other value to, not Satan Center. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got mad results. But he's one of the top ones because he has a huge following. I just don't know his name. I know what I can do. There was a video with Derek Jackson, Stefan Lavoisier, and this dude. Hold on, I'm gonna find this video. And then I'm gonna get this, guys. Not Donovan Sharp, not Tommy Sotomayor. No, this is a guy who actually panders to one demographic. So let me get this. And this is causing you guys to drop off. My apologies, guys, but I have to do this. I know you guys are like dropping off the live stream, but I got to get this. See if I can find this guy's name. What's his name? Come on, come on, come on. All right. Because no, Jackson also Jackson. Let's see if I can find this now. Oh, I won't be able to find it. I know they did he did a panel a couple of years ago, and I won't be able to find it, guys. I promise. I forgot his name, and I've been wanting to react to his stuff for a minute, and yeah, I just watching his stuff tends to be a little bit more cringy because he is hyper emotional in his video. Not Ruslan KD. Come on. No, not the bro. Shout out to all of my hey, what's going on? Smoke and talk. What's going on? Dang, man, what's his name? I won't be able to find it. Yeah. Oh well, it is what it is. All right, I'll find it later. But yeah, so there's money to be made in pandering to one specific and not demographic, and not offering tangible solutions to help. And here's the thing: I'm not talking about these superficial solutions, because you may have like the young men in Miami talking about there's a couple of things you need to do. You need to get fit. You need to level up your money. All right. You need to make yourself more valuable, right? And then women are going to want you. Just because you are fit, just because you are rich, just because that women may want you for what you have, but doesn't mean that you are any benefit to society. It is what that's just the truth. That's the truth. One thing that we can't argue. Strong societies are the result of not the Poor Man podcast, and I respect him. Like he tends to be a more balanced, has a more balanced perspective. I don't watch a lot of this stuff because I just don't do well listening and consuming content with a whole lot of cursing and stuff. But he has a pretty decent perspective. What do you think about O'Shea Duke Jackson's response to Pearl and leaving the Black Manosphere? Thanks. Good question. Nathan, thank you so much for being here. Glad that you're here. Greatly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing and joining the Harrison Extended family. And if you guys have not liked this video yet, please hit the like button right now as I discuss my perspective on O'Shea Duke Jackson leaving the Manosphere and his response to Pearl. I mentioned this a little bit in another video and a little bit earlier in this video. I respect O'Shea Duke Jackson. He was one of the pioneers in the Black Manosphere space. I watched his content and I watched his maturity over the last 4 years. The brother matured a lot. And I do agree with his perspective, because when you have somebody from the outside coming in and exploiting the issues that we face in our community to make money, it's wrong. It's wrong. Especially when all you're doing is explaining the issues and not giving tangible and actionable solutions to it. And when you are in a place where you're from the outside, you're coming in with preconceived notions, with some, bias that you don't realize you have. For instance, her commentary on slavery and how Blacks want to embellish what happened in slavery. And then using roots as a source of reference, which, might I add, not one Black historian who talks about racism uses roots as their source of reference. They just don't. Just don't. It's a fictional movie that has this based on events that actually happen, like, certain things that happen, and then they created a fictional movie to try to make it as real as possible. And that movie was toned down a lot so that it could be made for TV. So I agree with his perspective. I do. I don't agree with him on a lot of things. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure like him and I would never have a chance to talk because I was critical on certain talking points that Kevin Samuels had. And some people think that I was anti Kevin Samuels when really I was just anti him telling women who were Christians that they should not save themselves for marriage and things like that. I thought, there were some holes in and inconsistencies in Kevin Samuels' talking points, but a lot of the things he said was on point. I just didn't agree with everything. And when I posted a video about that, people went crazy. I agree with some of his talking points. I don't agree with all of it. I don't think that he talks for all men. Some people do. Some people already don't believe that. But and he's extremely loyal to Kevin Samuels, which I appreciate as well because that was his friend. But nonetheless, O'Shea Duke Jackson's perspective on this, I think, is solid. It's solid. And if me as a black man go into a Brazilian space and start telling Brazilian men or women how bad Brazilian men are, the Brazilian men probably, or women or men, probably would not receive it well. Just we do, and we shouldn't. And I think that's his point, and I agree with that point. I do. Yeah. And thank you so much, Smoke and Talk, for joining the Harrison Extended family through subscriber. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. Kevin Samuels had the Kevin Samuels Defense Force. So anytime we criticize him or just criticize his talking points, they came out of full force. They definitely did. They definitely did. And some of those insults were magnificent. Like they said some things about me, like some insults that made me laugh. Like it was some of them were so funny. I shared them with my students, and they were like, "Yeah, that's kind of right, Mr. Harrison." Right? How you leave something that don't exist? Yeah, because it really doesn't. It's just like it's like, how do you explain the Manosphere? It's a subsection of YouTube that, and I said that before too. So I did say that the Mighty Walk, that it's not like an organization, because if there was, they would have some principles that they subscribe to, right? That will keep them consistent in their talking points. And CP artist said earlier that a lot of their talking points is just based off of convenience. So, it's a good point. Good point. Pearl is on YouTube, but not the Manosphere. But if you talk to her and hear what she talks about, she even admits to speaking about topics in the Manosphere. So she's not in the Manosphere, but the Manosphere that I guess somewhat exists on YouTube accepted her as a spokesperson about their issues. So, yeah, I know she did mention that she believes that men should be leaders in the space, but that doesn't take away from people allowing her to have a voice in the space as well. Yeah. So she may not be a woman, but yeah, she exists within the Manosphere. Yeah. Yeah. We do got to grow up. We do got to grow up. But here's the thing about growing up, right? And about talking points like these. We tend to go into this with, if somebody says something that I like and agree with, I'm all for it. If somebody says something that I don't agree with, they should be canceled. And I did want to say this, right? I'm not part of, I don't agree with this whole cancel culture type of stuff, right? But I will support people who, if they don't like somebody's content and it doesn't resonate with them, or they may have said some things that they don't like, by all means, unsubscribe. But here's the thing. She's gained subscribers after all this. Her channel grew in spite of what she said. And again, she's not going anywhere. She's not. She's not going to go anywhere. And if the YouTube thing doesn't work out, she's going to find her voice somewhere else. It's just, it is what it is. It's going to happen. But she actually grew in subscribers since the situation. She grew a couple of thousand subscribers in the past 10 days. So Pearl ain't going nowhere. Pearl is not going anywhere. It is what it is. But again, she really did expose a couple of things in the Manosphere. She threw a bomb. Didn't mean to throw it. I think she was walking around with the bomb and dropped it by accident. It exploded. And now this one doesn't like this one. This one dislikes this one. You have Anton Daniels upset with Six the Goddess for her and the other sisters' point of view. Yeah. Black America doesn't think about freedom of speech in the same way most of America does. And it's a weakness. We lack diversity of thought. I hear what you're trying to say. I want you to expound on that though, if you can. So I think I know where you're going, and I agree. I think everybody should be able to, within reason, say whatever they feel they need to say. If I don't like what you have to say, I'm not going to listen to you. Just that is. I may even say why I'm not, but I'm not going to be making it my mission to cancel you. I just won't. I'm just going to say, you know what? This ain't for me. Unsubscribe. This ain't for me. Block. It is what it is. You know, like I'll give you an example, right? Let's talk about Pearl. When I say I'm not a fan of her, I just don't care for her content. Only because she's not saying anything I have not already heard. All the stats she mentions, I've heard for the past 3.5, 4 years from a variety of YouTubers. She's not saying anything different. Okay. I'm at the place now where if somebody wants to bring stats and numbers, I want them to be able to analyze the data and give me the variable that exists within the data, not just give me numbers, because people love general numbers, but they don't want to talk about the issues that creates those numbers. I'm about the issues that create those numbers, not just the numbers. So I'm not subscribed to her channel. Okay. Her channel doesn't really come on my news feed, but other people who talk about her have been on my news feed, and yeah. So I don't know why, but yeah. And it's a big split. Yeah. So she's a host of a train wreck. Yeah. But again, she's not going anywhere. And she played this really, really, really well. Really, really well. They got the same audience. Yeah. And she outgrew F&F. Well, she outgrew the Young Man in Miami pretty quick. But did they I think they may have crossed 100. A million subscribers recently. I'm not sure. Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's what people got to realize about YouTube. I will give you this. Let's be objective here. YouTube has so many viewers. Not everybody's going to agree with you. Not everybody's going to agree with you. It is what it is. And people will gravitate to what they want to hear or what they're feeling pandered to, or who they're receiving pandering from. They will. Wait, I got to read this comment before I put this on my channel. I am not about to get canceled. Okay, ain't going to happen. Let me read this. Let Pearly say, okay. Yeah. Let Pearly say the same thing about the Jewish community as she did about slavery. Oh, hell will break loose. We got Negroes willing to break their own necks to save the Caucasian damsel in distress. That's where the inconsistency also lies within the what exists as the Black Manosphere. It's not consistent of Black people. Okay. She should be the center of she should be the center of attention in the middle of nowhere. Black Light Revelations on a roll. Brother Rob is on his thing. Stockholm Syndrome at its finest. Yeah. And why are we always comparing ourselves to the Jewish community? So I think the reason why that's being done is because the strength within it. We have a lot of strength in our community. We just don't realize it. People who come out and say things about the Jewish community will find themselves canceled. But you can say things about people in the Black community and it's entertainment. And I think that's where that schism, the difference lies. They have power and they utilize that power together. We have power, but it's very individualized. And then we tend to use that power against each other instead of lifting each other up. And I think that's a challenge that we need to really address as a people. Okay. We get that respect. So I think that's why they use events in the past that was horrific toward those of the Jewish community. And we can't say anything bad about those, which we shouldn't. But we can say anything we want about the plights of African Americans, the civil rights movement, slavery, things like that. And I think that's where he's coming from. It's not the same. We don't move the same. We don't have the same resources and tools. That we don't think. We have, if we band together, right, and move our resources to the right places, because the truth of the matter is the reason why they have resources and tools is because we're funding it. We're funding it. That's why they have it. So we're not the same because we utilize our tools differently, or we utilize our resources differently. We don't have tools because we're giving them resources, our resources. But if we use our resources, we can get our own tools. Not comparing us, I'm comparing the treatment. Yeah. She calls the Civil War like the female Baron Zemo. She literally went in there and dropped the bomb accidentally and exposed it. It exposed it. It did. It did. At Blaxploitation, I don't think she calls it civil war. I think that the people fighting are demonstrating their leadership and judgment skills. And it's up to the observers to say if they are worthy. The Manosphere always had civil wars. FNF versus KS, FNF versus Up and Preach, etc. Yeah. And if you notice, right, people get to a place where they know this is not worth it. It's not worth it, right? Like, I don't listen to him much, but do you ever hear Coach Greg Adams argue others in the space and beef with others in the space? I'm not sure. Like I watch some of his stuff. I don't agree with a lot of his stuff, but he's not out there like coming at others, right? This situation has prominent people in the YouTube space who at one point were collaborators and worked together, no longer friends. That also goes to show that within this space, people are overly sensitive. It's no longer our talking points differ and we disagree on these talking points. We become emotionally consumed with this and become offended because somebody don't agree with us. My gosh. My gosh. Come on. We got to do better. Darius, is that him? Hold on. Google. Let me see. I think that's him. Not Darius. No. No, that's not him. No. Is that him? Hold on. Not Darius. No. No, not him. No. Dag. I really want to find. When I do find him, guys, subscribe to my channel. When I do find him, I'm going to put it on my community tab, and then I promise you, I am going to do a response to one of his videos, because if pandering was in the dictionary, you'll have Derek Jackson and this dude's face on there. I promise you. But no, that wasn't him. All right. You get treatment in the economy based on your perceived value and contribution. That I agree. Objectively, you're right. We have the ability to spend like everybody else. We have zero power projection except emotions. And you know what? We got to be honest. He's speaking facts there. He's speaking facts there. But the variable that exists within that is that we have the same spending power, but we're giving them the money we're spending. So, which again, I think every community, people group has value to give. It's a matter of us giving it. Yeah, Coach Greg, yeah. Was it beef? I know they had a debate, but was it beef? Okay, you said, Coach Greg, is it net positive? I got to do more research on him. I don't really follow his stuff. A couple of years ago, I remember watching a couple of videos of his, and I'm like, yeah, he's been hurt. This brother's been hurt. So I'm not sure if I can watch him right now, because he's speaking from a deep place of hurt. And he's projecting that hurt on other young men who have not been hurt yet, but they're using his experience and adopting that experience to say that everybody's like that. So I tend to, stray away from people who speak in generalities and tell men that all women are one specific way. And we know that they're not. Why do the people you speak of choose not to make each other millionaires, billionaires? Why is it that their choice? Yes, on the sensitive. It was Obsidian versus Angry Man at one point in time. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, guys, like, and I think there's so much emotion and this machismo, BD type of energy. Like, we're trying to like size each other up to see who's bigger and badder in a space that's meant to improve men. We can disagree on certain things and move on. And that's the thing about, let's be honest, that's the thing about social media and YouTube. Men get extremely brave on platforms like this. Extremely brave. Because if we're in like the barbershop, where a lot of discussions happen, things go down, disagreements go down, we agree to disagree. Sometimes we'll even go to blows, but after that, it's all done. We're done. We're moving on. We're not creating series of videos, or every time we see the guy we were beefing with at one point in the barbershop, no, like if we have a discussion and we were boys at one point, no, we disagree. Where's the maturity at in the space? That's another thing that Pearl exposed, is the maturity level that exists within the space. The maturity level that doesn't exist within the space. So, yeah. Yeah. Which people, Mighty Walk, or the people you're talking about. I partially agree, CP the artist, but I would call skirmishes not wars. This became so big that friends are calling each other out in real time, and lines are being drawn in the sand. Now, I think what would be a positive in the space is if these friends were to do a collab together and share what they agree and disagree with and come to a common place. Even if, and saying, yeah, I still don't agree, but thanks for this discussion. That would be dope. That would be dope. Another thing Pearl exposed is the pseudo friendships that exist in YouTube. Many of us, so I'm a little different. I believe in relationships, and I'm this way to a fault. I'm loyal to a fault to the people that I have connected with in my life. I have. I'm still, I will still help, and I'm still friends with people that really did me dirty, right? I'm loyal to a fault. So if I've connected with people on YouTube, I'm not connecting with people because I know that they can do something for me. I really want to connect with people. But here on YouTube, many of us, and I say us because I do videos on YouTube, are looking to collaborate with people that will only do stuff for us and not make genuine connections. So when things like this happen, when we have somebody who accidentally drops a bomb in a topic that we care vehemently about, we start dismissing and dissing the very people that we look to for collaborations because we didn't make genuine connections on YouTube. We're all being used for one thing or the other. If I create a viral video, right, that everybody's talking about, I may get some collab requests from people so that we can talk about it. But after that, they may not want anything to do with me. See, I'm a little different where if I ask somebody to collab, I really want to genuinely connect with you. Right? I want us to build together. But yeah, she exposed how fake people are in the manosphere. It's really about exposure and opportunity. Jay, you are killing me trying to find. Yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna post it up later. But I'm done. I'm done. Oh, who's texting me? I got a whole bunch. I'm going to be honest with you. Aunt Jenny and Hannah, Pearl, David are both modern women. Ooh. Aunt Jenny, she would take offense to that. How we a red pill truth space and can't discuss a reason about supposed embellishment about slavery or discuss do immigrants work harder than Americans? This is blue or red pill. I think you're adding something to a conversation that wasn't meant to be there. If she would have given an actual embellishment, then yeah. If she would have given an example of how people embellish, then yeah. She didn't use an example. In fact, the example that she did use was a fictional story. I think that's the thing. Now, so let's look at it from a bird's eye point of view. If we're going to talk about truth, let's talk about truth. If Pearl was going to give an example of how Black people embellish the events of slavery, then use actual events, not a movie that was supposed to be fiction. Or saying Black people, look at Roots and Roots was an embellishment, even though it wasn't, but an embellishment of what was going on during slavery. I think that's a L. That's a L. So, but if we have honest conversations about it, by all means, less. Educate us. But then she admit also that she wasn't really educated in that. So at the same time, it's like, if we're going to be red pill about this and we want to expose the truth about it, let's expose the actual truth. Okay? Expose the actual truth. And also when it comes to immigrants working harder than Americans, right? All of that is anecdotal. All of it's anecdotal. Opportunities exist, right? So certain Americans will have better opportunities. So they don't need to have, and this is Black, white, Indian. If you're born in America, right, you have better opportunities than other people do. So you don't have to start off at the low end of the totem pole, where immigrants come in and they're doing hard labor jobs, working hard. So it's pretty much me saying this: who works harder, the banker or the landscaper? Who works harder? The landscaper works harder, but the banker makes more money. So the issue of who works harder is a little bit, it can go either way. But if you want to expose the truth and really and it's also nuanced and layered, we would have you know what, bro? You know what? I think you're motivating me, the Mighty Walk. Like, real talk. I am probably going to go in on this. I'm probably going to go in on it because I think what you bringing up right now is important. It's something that we really need to really discuss, because you're right. As I'm processing this in real time, I think, we got to be truthful on this, right? And have a deep layered conversation about why people believe that immigrants work harder than Americans. And if that is the case, does that necessarily make them more successful than Americans? Because America has a type of system established within it where, yeah, people who work hard could excel in life. right? But usually for the immigrants, right, the people who benefit from the hard work of those immigrants are their American children, the generation after. So, but yeah, that's a, you know what, bro? I think I'm going to go deeper on that. Appreciate you adding that. Oh man, an hour late, and I'm still on. It's 8:40. Yo, I'm supposed to be done by now. Pastor Poppy Don, everyone. How much money have the male instructors Manosphere made on YouTube through their platforms? What tangible revenue generating asset have the men who instruct others on manhood built for their legacy? Good question. Good question. Is it Pastor Poppy Dondre? Who's that? Who? Me? Who's that, CP? And my question is, why do people who feel that the community is worthless show the same net value as a community? Mm, mm. Also, Real Talk with Yanni is currently interviewing B Taylor right now. I just pray that more men and women aren't even more jacked up or jaded from this. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if I ever. Well, Real Talk with Yanni. I don't know who that is. I think she called me a struggle streamer once because is Real Talk with Yanni. Hold on, I'm gonna look for her right now. I don't think she was. I got called a struggle streamer by one of Cynthia G's people, and she don't even show her face in her live streams. So I was like, "Wait, you're calling me a struggle streamer, and you don't even show your face in a live stream?" All right, yeah, all right. We need to have the pro blacks go over there and the balanced black split. Not me. I burn bridges.
Danger.
The mighty walk. Who are the pro blacks? And my question is, should anti blackness be the cool, trendy new movement for black people? Ooh. Ooh. I think it's okay. Black creators need to go outside of just collaborating with just this space. I agree. I agree. Uh, what's anti blackness? I wish Dre would read my comments 15 minutes ago. If the guy is Pastor Poppy Don. Who is Pastor Poppy Don? Which guy? Oh, no. Okay, I know you're talking about. Wait, on Instagram? Gotcha. Okay, I get it. I get it. I'm sorry. I don't think it's Pastor Poppy Don. There's a guy named Pastor Poppy Don? I never heard of this dude. No. Oh, I've seen him before, but it's not him. It's not him. No, sorry. Sorry, bro. Gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying now. Uh, you have to define what's black first. Again, like that's and I'm glad that you guys are chopping it up. Maybe the three of us can connect so that we can do like a collab on this if you guys are interested. Regarding friendships, Anton Daniels acts paley with everyone. However, he seems to have fallen out with the YouTuber who refers to herself as Six the Goddess. Yeah, there's a recent falling out, especially over this Pearl thing. You put the term pro black out there first, so I guess that would be opposite of your implied definition, right? So you see what's happening here in the chat. You have two men going at it, right? They have offering questions and they may disagree, and they're talking it out, right? Which should be done, right? In a respectful manner. I think we should all connect if you guys will be down. We two different people. I have my meaning. What's yours? The opposite of pro-black to me is not concerned about blacks. That's not anti. All right. That's just you worried about yourself and your family. Aunt Jenny's true inhibitions came out when she was under the influence of alcohol. And do tell. Define your definition. Anti means opposite or negative. So anti would be opposite of your definition. Define your definition. Mighty war. What should people be? Themselves. A black is not a gang. Facts. Roots was not an example to be used. And if one is not educated on the subject, why speak on it? Gain facts and data first, then speak. And if you're going to gain data, identify the variables that created the data also. Stop, guys, stop throwing out numbers. Stop throwing out numbers. Just having data and general numbers doesn't help anybody. And we see that because in the 4 years people have been throwing out data, nothing positive came out of it. Every single data point have variables that created the data. Analyze the data, find out what happened within the. No, I'm done. I'm not saying no more about that. Gosh, it's frustrating. What should people be and how should they apply? This is. Why don't you guys just come up, man? Come up right now so we can have a conversation. I put the link in the chat. Come on. I'm like reading your comments. I feel like I'm a messenger. I feel like I'm like the guy like the fourth grader at lunch saying, "Hey, so and so said this about you, yo," and then they go, so said this about you, right? Come up and join, man. All right, Harrison family values. We have stats. Caribbean families and African families on average make more than average white men yearly income. Check it out, bro. Yeah, if you can share those stats with me. If you have a stat point, put the link in the chat. I'll greatly appreciate it. Pearl's example did actually reflect that the African bro who worked for her didn't actually work harder. Pearl just got away with paying him less than someone else. Themselves, once again, you are not your pigment. You are your last name, and sometimes not even that. The dude you were talking. Yeah, I got it. I'm a little behind on the chat. So my apologies. I'm catching up. I'm trying to. I am not reading your comments no more, brethren. If you guys want to talk, the link's in the chat. Like I'm like I'm not doing it no more. Not, I promise. Also, y'all Americans work 24/7. As far as I hear, in Europe, we're trying to opt in for 4 days a week. Yeah. So, by the way, I'm a Black American, and I worked darn hard myself. But what I won't do is use my experience and blanket everybody with my one experience. I just won't do that. And I think people tend to do that. We tend to say, again, variables. Data shows what? Data says this, but what are the variables that exist within the data? I just don't think having a Caucasian woman talk about the dissension without providing a solution. I agree. When our ancestors are responsible for creating the dissension is lame and problematic. I agree. I got it, bro. All right, cool. No problem. No, I'm a little behind on it, so please forgive me. Please forgive me. Six the Goddess got Anton on a full simp warpath. Ooh. Dag. There's a link to the brother's video. He talked about this situation as well. I don't know if I disagree or disagree yet. Just trying to figure out what his recommendation is that people should do. LOL. All right. Yeah. Auntie Jenny was on the Henny. Yeah, I bet he was. I have a question for you. Don't make the question too hard, bro. How do you feel about family arranged marriages? Cultures that have family arranged marriages that last. Okay, now if we're looking at data, okay. So I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. This is not a popular opinion. I am in favor, and brother, I see you in the back. I'm gonna get you on now. I am in favor of arranged marriages. I am. The reason why is because, especially in today's modern day, we are extremely selfish and trying to identify what we can get out of the other person. Generally, you have modern women with all these expectations on men, and they don't want any man to say anything other than I, accept me as I am. But then we have modern men demanding submission on women when they have offered no security, no provisions for a woman to be submissive to. So I think the brother just stepped out. But in an arranged marriages, which shows to have worldwide shown to have more success than if, modern marriages choose for themselves. And this is me talking about something that I know of. If you guys don't know, that degree right there is a master's degree in marriage and family counseling. So studies have been done and show that, not just stats, but studies show that arranged marriages have been more successful than marriages that individuals selected. Just because a family wants what's best for the legacy, not just the individual or the person that's getting married. So they're thinking of generations after generations, not just, a cute woman with a nice body or a man with a nice bank account, what they can get me right now. And I think in marriages, we tend to look at what we can get right now, which is why in America, we focus so much investment on the wedding day instead of identifying what's really important, and that's the marriage. Arranged marriages will tell you the marriages is more important than your wedding day and so on and so forth. But that's a more detailed conversation that we can have at a later time. But I am in favor of arranged marriages. In fact, I told my sons, all three of them, that if they give me not my oldest son is already married, but I told him this years ago, that if they give me the opportunity to find a wife for them, I would definitely hook them up. I told them that, but they don't want my guidance. They don't want me to find them a wife. Too bad for them. Auntie Jenny was throwing out the sign language. LOL, I would come up, bro, but I'm at work. I'm an early bird. Yeah, I hear you. But we don't have to do it right now. Like, let's talk another time. Let's collab, the three of us, or even anybody else that want to have a conversation about this. Because I think chopping it up and really like seeing each other's perspective, even present some numbers and variables within those numbers, we can actually get to a common ground, I believe. Your numbers are going up, Dre. Yeah, to the 31 that's in the chat right now. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe now. By subscribing, you'll be joining the Harrison Extended family. You have questions, I may have answers. And if I may not, maybe somebody in the chat could give it to you. Auntie Jenny was definitely on that. Henny. MTR. No, not MTR. Hold on. It seems like the data supports supposed outcomes of arranged marriages. It makes sense because, in theory, if parents are choosing the husband or wife, they know what it takes for success. Yes. Like, for instance, right? Let's call it a buck. Right? Let's be all the way honest here. And this is generally speaking. Let's call it a buck. Okay. A young man sees a beautiful woman. She checks off all the physical checks. He brings her home to mommy. Mom asks questions. Dad is sitting there too. Dad's like, okay, she's cute. All right. But mom is asking questions like, da-da-da, what do you do? Da-da-da, what do you value? She can tell right off the bat if this woman is not good for her son. The son still only sees, yo, she's bad. She's beautiful. Da-da-da-da. We need to, I think it's beneficial, even if you're going to choose your own spouse, that you get the input from your family. I think that's extremely important. Extremely important. I think non-Western culture has better marriages because Eastern culture is structured. Yes. And and again, just unlike the Manosphere, many cultures, traditions, and I heard this, traditions is just a way for old people to, dead people to peer pressure young people. It's kind of funny. But traditions is important. It's a set of standards we live by. And if we live by those standards, relationships tend to be successful. I agree. Hit me up on Twitter and let's do it. All right. If you can hit me up on Twitter also, bro, that would be greatly appreciated. If I know you stepped down. Now MTR with the millions. Oh, MTR making millions too? Does the arranged marriage still work if the man is not sexually attracted to the future wife? Based on the principle. Mighty Walk is back. All right, hold on. Yes, it can. Now, again, I don't have a lot of experience myself with arranged marriages. I just understand that based on the studies that's done, it's been successful. Okay, they understand what it takes for marriage to work, and they also understand that beauty doesn't last long. So when arranged marriages happen, they're thinking legacy. So what you look like doesn't really matter. Can we procreate together? Yes. Can we leave a legacy for the kids? Yes. Can we, set up our kids with a good future and keep our legacy going? Yes. Parents are looking to find that for their children in arranged marriages. Okay. The beauty is important, but in those situations, it's secondary. It's about what can the family bring to each other. So let me get this brother on. Mighty Walk, what's going on?
What's going on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. What's going on? What's going on? So, yeah, I like what's going on in the Manosphere. I like the destruction.
Mm-hmm. Destruction.
I like, I like the chaos because Black folk tend to think we walk around like some big clan, that we all had the same ideas.
Yeah.
And I would say 75% of us do.
Mm-hmm.
But we never get to question those ideas because everybody's so afraid to say certain things,
Yeah.
And we come into a period where people are going to have to make some choices because of the way the environment is. They're pressing the racism thing, and it's a lot of people who don't care, either don't care about the racism, or they know racism doesn't specifically affects them as much as others think that it does.
Yeah.
So, you've got those people actually speaking to other people who they've never lived in a suburb, they've never left the hood, they never left their block. They don't have many interactions with white people. They probably don't work with them, or even if they do, they don't think about that.
Yeah.
So it's causing these people to clash, and it's very valuable. Because first of all, you start to lose valuable people who actually are connected to other societies, other cultures, and of course they have other money because of that. And then you relegate yourself to like a lower bottom that is extremely radical, and they're not actually thinking out things because that's not their life. They don't exist in maybe going to some luxury spot outside of the culture.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
you see, like, the issue might be objectivity. Like, they just can't be objective and think clearly about the situation. Yeah. You know what it is, and people may know that. So it's like some people are just like cannons, right? And they just need to be pointed in the right direction and give them a reason to let off. And they'll explode. Like, they'll just start bucking at one place instead of like really thinking through and saying, you know what, let me really have a honest, and I can go into this having my own opinion about something, right? But let me not be so polarized in what I believe that I can't clearly hear the point of view of somebody else. So even with the situation of racism, right? Some people, this is a polarizing topic, and it seems like this, like it stays at a level, a heightened level, but sometimes it goes higher, sometimes it goes lower. So it's like,
right,
and it comes back around every couple of years at a heightened point. Like, for instance, like to prove your point, right? The LSU versus what's that, the other girls team, the NCAA female champion, the women's championship, right? They're making the situation a race issue because two people on the opposite teams made the same gesture. When the woman who was white made the gesture, nobody said anything. When the black woman said the gesture, they were saying that she was unprofessional, she was all this and all that, right? Now, people tend to look at that, right? And instead of looking at things like that objectively, because I didn't touch it yet, but objectively, they go into this with their implicit bias, their polarizing point of view already, and they speak from that.
Right.
So without saying, there's some issues of race, but guys, let's have an honest conversation about it. Let's really talk about
it. I think specifically, like even okay, you know what? You know why that's a perfect situation?
Yeah.
Because a lot of racial a lot of racial narratives comes from, like I just said, people are not experiencing certain things. If you ever played a sport, I don't care if it's a white team or black team, it's always going to be some dude that stunt. Or I played sports for years, like that stuff is natural. You know, and because people have never played a sport, they think it's just okay. Oh no, the black girls are natural because that's what they do in the hood. I can understand it because people are not used to seeing a woman do it in a sport, but it's like, come on, you know. And we don't have that balanced point of view. And then I think online, like you said, it pushes people to certain sides. And I really think that extremist side gets to the point where they use their pigment as a weapon. You're not black if you don't agree. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, it's not that serious. And this is actually how I felt about like Pearl. Like, it's not even for her to mention things. As much as we talk about, listen, we gotta admit, when black people get on social media, we dog white people in front of their face. We got white coworkers, and we will dog them out like they not on our friends list. And then turn around and act like no white person can say anything about us, even though we live in the same city or country.
I'm with you
it's
on
like
that.
How?
I'm with you on that. That same way with
so,
entertainment. Comedians can go in, black comedians can go in, and white comedians, they can't say anything. And then when they do, it's a cancel. So I agree.
And I just asked people. Well, like, it's crazy in my mind. I just wonder, like, damn, if that was I don't know. Maybe it's because the type of person I am. I'm bold. I've always said what I wanted, regardless of whatever. It just didn't care. I don't have no filter. You know, people talk about emotional intelligence. Well, I'm a stupid nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you want to judge what I say, then no, emotionally, no, I ain't got it all. But I'm just trying to tell you, like, yo, if I felt like that, like if I felt I can't quote unquote say something, I would explode at some point at somebody. So how do you think these people feel? You only making them want to not either hire us less or deal with us less. So you digging your own grave. You know?
I have a Leo in the back. I'm gonna bring him in now too. Okay.
All right.
What's going on, Leo?
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
How you feeling?
I'm good. First time being on the show.
Thank you so much for being here, man. I greatly appreciate you.
I got to know of you from Ruslan.
Oh yeah.
So,
shout out to
I just
Ruslan.
have 2 points to make. First of all, on the arranged marriage thing, my opinion on that is, I immigrated to the United States in 2009. So I came from Nigeria, a country where arranged marriages is still kind of like rampant in some parts of the country. And my problem with arranged marriages is kind of like, it can work, it can be helpful because both parents are involved, but it also creates, I'll put it like there are marriages that are supposed to be, that I don't want to say supposed to because I'm a Christian, but I'm saying there are marriages that probably would be better off if both parties were separate, and parental pressure keeps them together. You know, you have marriages in which the man is a serial cheater or abusive, or the woman has checked out emotionally, but because the parents are involved, they can't get out. Parents, even very toxic marriages that the man beats the woman every other day, they can't get out because parents are there and like, oh, you would disgrace the family, we brought you together. You know, there's so much. I know for even Nigerian immigrants, African immigrants in the United States, there's so much pressure from the family that, you know, you see women. I personally know in America several women who, and I don't like to preach divorce because I'm a Christian, but I would say I know of several marriages in which the woman should have at least separated from the man. But, you know, the man would beat her, the parents would come together and say, forgive him. She will go back. 3 months later, he will beat her again. The parents will have a meeting again, forgive him. You know, it creates that kind of toxic circle because parents are involved. There's so much pressure to stay together. So that's my issue with arranged marriages, sir.
So I agree with you 100%. If there's abuse, things need to be addressed. But let me ask this: what's the motivating factor behind the parents telling them to stay together?
Well, from my own experience, I can only speak from my own what I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially among African immigrants, Black African immigrants in the United States, divorce is still considered like a very, very. It's not generally. I feel like the American culture kind of like accepts that divorce is part of marriage. Among African immigrants, I can tell you, especially from West and East Africa, it's considered like the most shameful thing that can happen to you as a woman.
Yeah.
Is to get divorced.
Yeah. But the thing is, so at the core, the culture values marriage. There's a core principle there that's shared in your culture, right?
But it creates the situation in which, like you said, toxic marriages continue.
So, we'll address that. Well, what I'm saying is the reason why the marriage itself stays intact is because of the core principle that many in your culture share. Now, individuals will exploit that value to do toxic things, knowing that this person may never leave me because it'll bring shame to their family. But what really should bring shame to a family is if a man is beating on his wife.
Exactly. Or cheating, or just being emotionally abusive.
Yes.
Some it's not even physical beating, sir. It's just abuse. Abuse every day, verbal, oral abuse.
I got a question about that. So you all right, if two families arrange a marriage, why that should also provide security for the husband not to be beaten on his wife, because technically the two fathers that match the kids should also provide protection. And I remember I did a lot of history research. I remember marriage is an institution that was originally in Africa supposed to mix families. It really wasn't about two people, right? So why the two families should overrule and kind of bring that in?
I agree with you 100%. It keeps, like I said before, it keeps marriages together because it does that. It does all that. It brings families together. So the closest, in fact, the person that actually helped me immigrate here I knew the person through marriage. He was married to my sister and all that.
Okay.
So I know it does that. It's very good. I'm on the fence of it because when it works, because it prevents all these kind of frivolous, like, he said something today, I'm divorcing him, or I'm falling out of love with him. It prevents all that kind of thing because you don't just walk out, man. Because if you walk out, if she said something frivolous and you're gonna have to explain to her father, her mother, her cousins, her uncles. You're gonna have to explain to her whole family why you're walking out, and vice versa for the woman. So in that aspect, it maintains marriages. But then, like you said, it can turn toxic.
So let me ask you this question then: Why is it in your culture then, right? Where because I think I can imagine traditionally the father has a huge say in who marries their daughter. So if that's the case, right? Why aren't the fathers of the wife and the husband, when things like that step in and pulling this dude and saying you need to keep your hands off your wife, otherwise we're going to step in and put our hands on you?
It happens. It happens. It happens.
Okay.
The girl has brothers. The brothers go and threaten the husband, which I don't think is particularly helpful. But it's not helpful.
I disagree, because I think men need to hold other men accountable, and if they refuse to learn their lesson, then we're going to make them learn their lesson, especially if it's no. Because here's the thing.
No, but you're making sense, actually.
Yeah, because we're a family, right? We're family. And we're here to build, right? I'm not here because I hate you, but you keep putting your hands on your wife. So if that keeps happening, we're going to put our hands
on you. Yeah.
So this consequence.
I agree. Okay, go on.
HFV, I kind of think like that would be the strong foundation. And it's crazy, because I'm American too. But we kind of do it on the opposite. You sort of see the women of the family use the men as guard dogs for what they want, but what they want is not like a strong man-based family, like how the brother right here from Africa is talking about.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's a very aggressive situation, because if you got a big family with a lot of male cousins, they tend to do a lot of bull instead of construct.
True.
They don't strengthen anything because it's not going up. So I guess it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
But I kind of think it would work pretty good if we did that in America. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that I think it will work, but I just called because I was trying to say, like, you know, it has its advantages. It can work. It can strengthen families in that you're accountable to not just each other. You're accountable to like 4 different people on both sides.
Yeah.
4 different people on both sides. Yeah, I see somebody saying something about bride price. Bride price is not really, because when people divorce, they return the bride price. It's not something that is, but it makes accountability, sir. I agree. It creates a system of, because you can't just divorce the woman. You're going to have to go and explain to her father, her mother, her uncles, her cousins. And the woman too, she just can't walk out. She'll have to explain to her father, his father, and, you know, but then again, it can create this talk. So it needs to be balanced by everything has to be balanced by Jesus Christ, because it needs to be balanced out by Jesus Christ. So it doesn't swing too far, you know, and trapped, because there are people that I know that are trapped in marriages that I know they should have separated, because these marriages have turned toxic, but because you can't separate, because you need to explain to like 8 different people why you're separating, the woman is still there or the man is still there.
Yeah. Agree.
And then just briefly to touch on this issue of Pearl, just to conclude, sir.
Got you.
I like to measure everything by the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I've never been comfortable with the Manosphere. Sometimes they say some things that make sense, but most of the time I just don't. It just doesn't. The thing that turned me off, I can never forget. I was listening. I used to be a Kevin Samuel kind of fan. And one day I was listening to him. There was this Canadian lady that called in, and she was talking about the fact that she used to give it up for guys, but now she's dating this guy and she doesn't want to give it up for him. And KS was like, why you've been giving it up for guys? Why don't you want to give it up for this guy? You'll be lonely if you don't give it up for her. And in my mind, I just thought of the things that when Jesus was in Nicodemus, he said, basically, I was paraphrasing in my mind. I was like, my sister, even if you've been a 304 all your life, the day you decide that today that I'm going to change and go the right way, salvation has come to your household. Doesn't matter what happened in the past, because you did it in the past doesn't mean you need to keep on doing it in the past. So when he said that just turned me off the whole thing. I was like, there's no way I can align these things with my beliefs in Jesus Christ. They're not just compatible. So I'm not surprised that, you know, I'm not surprised she will say such racist things. I'm not even surprised at all, because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, and I don't see anything good flowing from the hearts of people in the Manosphere. It's just very anti-biblical to me.
So, you know, well, so let me say this. What I found based on like a lot of the content, I think that the reason why the Manosphere, what exists and known as the Manosphere, is because of the overcorrection of what's been happening with modern day feminism. There's overcorrection or over-recorrection, or it's just some kind of correction, right? But truth be told, a lot of the talking points in the Manosphere are biblically based, but not applied the way it needs to be applied. It's usually applied based on women. You need to be doing this because, you know, traditional value says this. But at the core of it, when people use the Bible and they talk about the Bible, it's usually from a place of what I can get somebody else to do for me, which is why we have many people today that lack trust in the Bible because of how slave traders used the Bible in an attempt to falsely justify slavery. So I think the Manosphere could be a positive place, which is why I'm trying to promote the Manosphere 4.0, the era of accountability. All right. That's what I'm trying to do. But I understand what you're coming from, But I still think that men need a space where we can be able to talk about our issues and help each other level up in the right way, and not
I
in a way
agree.
that
But the
bashes.
foundation should be the way they talk about it. I like the
And,
church
and,
I
and,
attend.
and we have somebody on the phone too, so
All
I
right,
want to make
let
sure.
me just leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just to end it needs to be you. I would just say this advice: whatever people say in the Manosphere, always compare it with the Bible.
Yeah.
And think about how Jesus would handle this kind of situation.
Yeah.
But
also
I've done it several times, and what they say, and it just doesn't add up.
Yeah, but we also got to understand that the Manosphere is a spectrum. It's not just one set. Again, there's no specific set of values. So anybody like anybody can come on a space and talk about male improvement and stuff like that, and they would automatically be considered part of the Manosphere, even though they've never really claimed to be. Like they claim who was it? Was it KS who said he was never really part of the Manosphere, but everybody labeled him as such because of his talking points?
Everybody says that because that's what happens. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah. But I got somebody on the line. Caller,
Thank
you there?
Oh.
Yeah.
Look,
man. I'm about to get out of here. Blessings to both of y'all.
Thank you, Mighty. Well, I'm not sure if you have Instagram. Hit me up on Instagram so me, you, and Blacklight Rob could connect.
All right. Hold up? Where's your tag at?
I put it in the chat now. Let me see if it'll come up.
All right. Later, y'all.
All right. Take care. Thank you very much. I'm off too. All right.
All right, bro. I spelled it wrong. Hello, caller. You there? How you doing, bro?
Yeah. Good. This is Alex, by the way. And I had a question. I mean, I guess I wanted to speak a little bit about like the Manosphere / red pill thing.
Yeah.
As like a young man, I just think, I really think it's feeding the culture of internet antisocial generation of young men. Like, I think this is just molding the idea that you can find your community with like-minded men, and if you're not the problem, it's society, and it keeps you in this silo where like they're feeding you. Of course, they're doing it so they want to get more followers. They want to get more people to start watching more of their clips so they can make money. But it's still feeding that perpetual cycle of people not socializing in person, not building true friendship, and build true friendships with men online that you never talk to.
Yeah.
So it just feeds that notion that, I could be pseudo vulnerable to these men that I don't know what's going on with their actual lives while I'm here watching YouTube 12 hours a day.
Bro, like I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you.
I think that's the problem. I think people often think they're talking to their own selves. I see that a lot. If there's I see that like a lot of older men who have podcasts, not you, but like a lot of people, they'll be talking as if there's not young men listening to them right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you're being an example, but at the same time, you're saying that it's okay to act dumb and act like a child and mess around. And that's what you're supposed to be doing in your early 20s, while they're listening to now, and they're now complaining over the baby mamas that they formed 10 years ago. So it's just a lot of inconsistencies that I'm finding with this whole Sphere place, and I'm trying to take a hiatus from YouTube in general because it's just not good for my mental health, and like I just need to be outside more. Like I need to be active more.
Yes.
I'm a pretty active person.
Yeah.
I'm a student and all that, but I just think it just feeds that desire that men are needing to like build a community and actually build a group of brothers, and you can't build that online.
Agreed. Yeah, it's difficult too. It's almost impossible to develop genuine like close unless you really understand the dynamics of relationships with people in general. It's hard because people are avatars. People that we see on YouTube, we're all avatars. Even me, I can be some sort of an avatar. Even I gotta be honest, I'm not sure if I'm much of an avatar, and if I am, I'm pretty bad at it because I'm like I give you guys who I really am. But people are avatars, so they're able to fake. But when you meet somebody in person, right, after a while, enough exposure, you get to see who the person really is. And people are able to hide behind a screen, behind a microphone, behind a camera. And they start believing that their avatar is who they really are. So when they get out there, they really don't know how to engage people, because the people that engage with them online, who love them online, may not ever engage with them outside. What school do you go to?
So I'm a medical student.
Medical student? Shout out to the future MD. All right. Congratulations. But I think that what you bring up is a very good point. The manosphere, all these different spheres create echo chambers. And what I also find is the very argument that many of these men have about women, they need to have about themselves, because they create these echo chambers and then shame women for living in echo chambers as well. And you're right, for many, it doesn't really add much value to them. They start getting depressed. And even me, I got to be honest with you, I on occasion have to retrain my algorithm to put more positive stuff in my viewpoint on YouTube. Even now, like I've been doing, I did 2 videos on just pearly things. I'm doing this one, and my timeline is filled with just pearly things content. And I've been hitting that whole do not recommend button to retrain the algorithm, because although, on occasion I'll talk about it in hopes that I can help somebody, but I don't want to be sitting there listening to how awful people think just pearly things is, or how awful all women are, because then I'm living in an echo chamber of people who think like me. And what happens when you live in an echo chamber of people that think just like you? You'll never grow. And it's the crab.
Never grow, yeah.
Yeah, it's the crab. I think. Yeah, go ahead.
I also think, just for me personally, I've never been in a relationship, so it's always interesting when I'm always interested when I hear these like relationship talks. I've always been fascinated with them, and because I just always been super focused on school, like I just haven't really, like I'm the type of person, like I would actually be open to my dad finding me a wife that I find attractive. That's why I'm going to ask you more questions about that too, about arranged marriages.
Yeah.
I just think that a lot of men are single out here. A lot of young men like me are single out here. And by having a replacement of, instead of being in a relationship and experiencing that and getting that experience and knowledge, we're living vicariously through these experiences that we hear online with people who jacked up each other, and like the hurt that they're building, and like, it like pacifies us in a way where we're thinking, oh, we're dodging so many bullets by not putting ourselves out there, but then we're losing opportunity to connect with people. So that's something I realized on myself. I've been doing this, I'm 24, whatever, but like, yeah, I just feel like that's also key. Like people know relationships is how people get drawn to videos. If it wasn't about relationships, it wouldn't be as enticing. It's just, you can even tell with Fresh and Fit stuff, like it's not as exciting when they talk about like getting money or whatever. But when they bring the girls down and talk about gender stuff, that's when everybody comes out.
And can we ask like each other an honest conversation? If they have all this expertise about women, right? And I'm talking about the young men in Miami. They have all these expertise about women, right? But they spend the majority of their night doing live streams for several hours a night. How are they gaining any experience with women? Like, how? Like their whole life is consumed with this. So what else are they doing? I don't know. But that's neither here nor there, man. I think it's crazy, but I think you bring up a good point. And I agree with your point too. I do. I think we're missing the actual human element of life and the human connection. And yeah. But about the whole
I think
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think the internet provides so much good, like in terms of so much knowledge. I learned so much through YouTube, through Google. It's crazy. Yeah. But it's kind of hard. You can't. People say chew the meat, spit off the bone. That's hard to do.
Facts.
Especially through repetition. Like these folks, it's not just Russian, but it's anybody who has these like conversations, that are like toxic or just pearly things and stuff like that. You hear it, like it's cool maybe to hear it like spend a month and like learn about this red pill stuff, but if you hear it every single day for 10 months, it starts to be ingrained in your psyche, even though you don't agree with some of these things and you're a Christian and you're, a disciple, but you hear these things over and over and over again while you're going to work, while you're about to go to your next class, while you're driving. It seeps in. You can't really spit out the bone of toxicity as to what they prescribe is what you should do, which is sleep around. And so I think that's the hard part, because like I've gained so much about like so many different aspects of my life through YouTube, but at the same time, I'm now comparing myself to these standards that aren't biblical, aren't godly, won't be conducive for me, but I still feel bad because I'm thinking, oh, I'm not manning up to the standard of what I'm seeing from these red pill people.
Yeah.
So I think that's the dissonance that's going on with me.
Yeah. I hear you. Do you have
And so I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Before. No, I wanted to say something. I said a lot.
That's cool. No, go ahead. Say the last thing you were going to say.
Oh, okay. I was going to say about the arranged marriage.
Yeah, because I was about to circle back to that.
Right. I don't know why, but I'll be open to it, but I'm just scared that I wouldn't be attracted to the girl that my dad has.
Wait, say that one more time.
I think I'm open to it, but I don't know if I will be attracted to that girl that my dad would bring. Like he's very traditional, and I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, have a meeting with him. Say, hey, Dad, listen, if you want to do the arranged marriage thing, I gotta accept your guidance, Dad. I do, but I got a couple of non-negotiables that I'm gonna need you to consider right here. Okay. Have a conversation with him. What's your culture, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm Nigerian.
Nigerian, okay. And by the way, like I love one of my mentors is Nigerian, and I've learned a lot from him and his family. I love them dearly, and they have taught me a lot. And in fact, I did like a DNA and found out that my I guess heritage is predominantly in Nigeria. So, but I even did a baby naming ceremony for my son because I had a chance to be invited to one from one of my Nigerian friends, and I did that for my son Gabriel. And actually, I'm not sure if you're Yoruba or Igbo. I'm not sure, but
Igbo.
Oh, you are? Yeah. So my friends are Yoruba. But they gave him a name at the baby naming ceremony too. But so your family, your father really wants to find a wife for you, and you're open to it. It sounds like you're not like completely closed off to it.
Yeah, no, I'm not completely closed off to it.
But you're just concerned that you want to be able to wake up in the middle of the night and look at her and turn over and be like, okay, yeah, he did good. Pretty much, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm pretty picky. I mean, that's because I've never been in a relationship. I think I'm pretty picky. So I don't know if it's just that. That seems like the bare minimum.
Yeah.
I'm also like pretty interested in like, I mean, not interested. I'm pretty into like fitness and bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And so like that's very important to me. And so that's been a barrier as well. Yeah. I'm not seeing a lot of like, not bodybuilder girls, but like, fit, athletic, build.
In shape and concerned about their health. And, they make sure that they maintain it. I get it. Is that a conversation you can have with your dad? or have you had with him?
No, I haven't had this. I'm saying this like I don't even know if he has the ability to even find me. He's very old and traditional, so really? I just have little hope in that. But I mean, I can bring this up to him.
I would if I was you.
This hasn't been a conversation we had. You think I should?
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should just have a conversation. If especially if he's not like, you know, so traditional that he's not going to take heed to anything you say. Have a conversation with him and say, you know, say, Dad, I know you're interested in finding me a wife, and I believe that you're going to find me an amazing wife, but I just would like you to consider a couple of things. And that's, I'm into fitness, and I would love for her to be concerned about her physical appearance as well. And see what he says. You know, see what he says. I mean, for crying out loud, you're in medical school. You're literally going to be, you know, part of like the 1%. And, you know, I'm pretty sure, and which I'll pray that you will be protected from this. Women are going to want to throw themselves at you, especially once you become MD. What? So, you know, one of the things
I'm seeing it now. That's the funny thing. I've been seeing that now, and
you know what it's like. I'm gonna tell you what you're like to women, to many women. You are the same as the top college basketball player, right? That's about to sign an NBA contract. They see the work that you're doing, and they see what's happening in the future. And you're about to be a doctor. They're trying to throw their hat in the game now and show you interest now, so that they can lock you up now, so that when you become an MD, they're already established in your life. That's yeah, and you're already seeing it, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing it, but I think that's also been adding to like, now I'm like, I guess I've always been like, okay, I'm not the type of wasting my time. So if I don't see, if you're just not fitting what I'm envisioning as my wife, I'm just not gonna waste my time with you. I just don't waste time. I'm not going around wasting time like doing this whole little 2-year dating thing. Yeah. That's why I'm 24, never dated. I mean, I never dated. I've never been in a relationship. So I've seen that. I mean, typing on what I have the dating app, tons of girls, like crazy. But yeah, it's just not seeing it.
Yeah.
I think I'm really picky. It's definitely me. I'm not gonna say it's it can't be hundreds of girls. It's me, definitely. Just very picky and just very off-putted by a lot of things I'm seeing out here.
Yeah.
Just the mentality.
Look, somebody wrote,
the unbelief in God.
Yeah. Somebody wrote in the chat, what's going on, honestly speaking? She wrote, man, listen, I know of women that used to go and wait on the steps of Howard Law after folks took the LSATs, praying for this brother. So, yeah. You're going to be up there. So I think, with that, to help get, first off, it sounds like you have a good head on your shoulders as far as you being able to curb women that you know will be wasting your time. That's first. You're ambitious. You got a good head on your shoulder. You know where you want to go, and you probably know what will help you get to that point and how you can be supported there. So I think having a conversation with your dad and saying, hey, Dad, I really would like to be with somebody I'm physically attracted to. That, because again, there are women out there that are physically attractive who would share the same values that your dad has in a wife. So see what he says.
Yeah, I'll see what he says.
Yeah, I would like to know how that conversation goes. Like, if you're not connected with me on do you have IG?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, if you're not connected with me on Instagram, I'm going to put it in the chat again. And connect with me on Instagram, because I would like to see how that plays out. Not that I'll bring it up, just curious to see how that works out for you, because this is like real life learning for me to see how again, my friend Doppel, his marriage was arranged, sort of arranged as well. But he lived in Albany, so I didn't have like a close connection to that. We'll see how this goes, because again, I support arranged marriages, but I think the dynamic that you bring up about, because especially in the Western culture, attraction is extremely important to us, being able to like what we see in our partner. So I get it, but seeing how your dad, who was probably more traditional, would take to a conversation like that, yeah, that would be a learning experience. So if you don't mind keeping me up to date with that, I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely reach out on your Instagram.
All right, cool. All right, guys, I've been on this live stream for well over 2 hours, and I gotta go. I gotta go. But guys, this has been a dope conversation, and Alex, right? Yeah, I appreciate your call, and let's stay connected, all right, bro?
All right,
bro. Peace. All right, guys, I really gotta go. But guys, listen, Alex, single, future doctor, ladies, I'm not his dad, but no, forget it, ladies, he's focused. So don't even try to hit me up and say, hey, can I get like Alex's IG? I'm not giving it to you, okay? I'm not giving it to you. So don't be up in my DMs trying to find Alex's information. Leave him alone. All right. We're going to protect the brother. He's about to become a doctor. We're going to have a doctor in the Harrison extended family. All right. But guys, I gotta go. So I do want to thank everybody who called in. Shout out to brother Jermaine with the super chat today. I greatly appreciate it, and showing love to the channel through giving and sponsoring tonight's live stream. Greatly appreciate it. And everybody who was engaged in chat, the callers who called in. Listen, let's chop it up continually. And my closing thoughts about the whole just pearly things thing. This was less about just pearly things and more about the manosphere and the inconsistencies that exist within it. Understand this about the manosphere. It's a spectrum of different ideas and thoughts that don't really align with one cohesive system of values. They just don't. And I think CP the artist nailed it on the head when he talked about the convenience that exists within the space. They talk about what they want to talk about and how it's convenient for the male. So, guys, I think as men, we have to do better, and we got to really promote the Manosphere 4.0, the era of self-accountability. All right, guys, but I'm about to end right now. The music is playing, which means that the live stream is officially over. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in and sticking with me for the whole 2.5 hours. If you made it this far in the video and have not liked the video, please do me a favor and hit the like button right now. I greatly appreciate it. It will let YouTube know that this is a video worth sharing. It'll put it in front of the faces of some people's YouTube channels, and they'll have an opportunity to watch this video. I want to thank the callers who called through. You guys make this show possible, so thank you. And yeah, if you would like to support the channel, even before that, subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll be joining the Harrison Extended family. So hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification next to it. It'll let you know when I go live and when I upload new videos, okay? And if you would like to support the channel, we have a couple of ways you can support it. First, by super chats, like my brother Jermaine did tonight. Or if you're watching the replay, you can hit the super thanks button. That's the button down below that says super thanks, and give a donation there. You can join the channel through channel memberships or go to patreon.com/Harrison Family Values and support monthly there as well. The support is in a couple of tiers. We have the third cousins, second cousins, first cousins, and siblings. Any tier would be a support and a help, so you can sign up for any of those tiers. I'll greatly appreciate it. And also, if you would like to support it by getting something in return, you can buy merch like the merch I have here, but did you pray about it? You can go into the channel, look down below, you see a link for merch, buy a t-shirt, hoodie, coffee mugs, masks, for like COVID, even though we're not in COVID anymore. We have a couple of things in the merch channel, merch store that you can buy that will help support the channel. I know a couple of you guys have sent me pictures of your merch. Greatly appreciate it. Guys, you can support the channel that way. And that's one of the best ways I think you should support the channel, because it's not like you're giving me free money. You're buying an item and I get a kickback from that. So it's like you're supporting the business, really supporting it. So guys, greatly appreciate it. Thank you everybody for being in the live stream. Shout out to thank you so much, Rob. Marley December's here. Good night. My brother Jermaine. Good night. Good night to you all. And yeah, until the next upload, a live stream. I'm out. Peace.